Hey, good morning. Curt Isakson here. A little chilly outside this morning. We got a little cool front coming in. The wind's blowing, so I had to go get my jacket so I wasn't shivering. So this morning was not easy to get up. I definitely needed this obligation, I guess you could say, this accountability, this, purpose to get up. Because some of you, it might only be 5 people, but there were some people that maybe were going to be listening. So once again, sometimes you have to set appointments or, say you're going to do something just to hold yourself accountable. So to keep from letting people down and to hold myself accountable, I said I'd be here at 6, so I got up at 6. It was rough. The last 2 nights I was on a 48, and we had 2 fires the first night, fire the second night, and then a trash truck incident, which I'll talk about in the future. I got the whiteboard that I'm going to be putting down here on the dock, so that'll help. But real quick, don't look back. Don't look back. Full speed ahead. And people do it all the time. They waste too much time. They spend too much time talking about how it has been or what it was or who it was, what they did or what they didn't do. Then you're just wasting time, and I've said it a lot over the years, is stop overutilizing that little rear view mirror. Stop using that little rear view mirror. I talked and closed out at COBC, and I was trying to cover too much in a short period of time, but I referred to the difference between a rear view mirror from a car, say 50 years ago and today, and talked about the differences. Today's has got a camera, and what I was trying to say is now you got a backup camera in your car, and some of the newer cars, your rear view mirror is actually a camera, like in my truck. So it's a video, it's filming, if you will. So what I was trying to say is that in today's society, we take so many pictures, we video so much. On my phone, I'm pushing almost 50,000 photos, where 40, 50, 60 years ago, we weren't video, and we weren't taking pictures, or weren't, ring doorbells. Everything's being documented. And you know what? That's fine. And I get in the American Fire Service, documentation. Sometimes documentation, sometimes pictures, sometimes video is not always reminding you of good things. It's holding you back. It's keeping you from looking forward. Now, I'm all about the pictures. I'm all about, I'm a big advocate. I push it. But there's some pictures you don't need to look at. There's some video you don't need to look at. It's has been. It's gone. It's past you. It's behind you. That's why you're where you are today. So if looking back is going to help you, remind you why you're doing what you're doing, why you're moving forward, why you're, continuing to press, that's a good thing. But you gotta go full speed ahead. And I'm telling you, I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to say it a year from now, I'm going to say it 2 years from now. People are going to have to get off your bus to have new passengers. And, if you haven't read John Gordon's Energy Bus, you have to. I read it right when it came out, and I don't know what it was. It was well over 10 years ago. But it's one of the easiest reads. It's one of the best reads. And when somebody gets off your bus, when you leave somebody, it's not that you don't care about them. It's not that you don't love them. Too many times people take memes. They take, quotes out of context. When you read a quote, even if it's somebody you know and they posted it and you think it's about you, that's a problem. You're letting that hold you back instead of letting it use you to move you forward. Don't get me wrong. Reflection's good. Everybody has to have reflection. Everybody has to have self-evaluation. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, the man in the mirror. That's great. But if that's keeping you from going somewhere, then it's not good. Like I've said, when I talk about Matthew McConaughey and green lights in his book, you only know your inner thoughts when you lay your head down. That's what is crystal clear on what you need to do. So you have to come into a vision, if you will, maximize the size of the windshield for focusing where you want to go, where you want to be, what you want to do. Change is uncomfortable. Trust me, they were harassing me at COBC, because this is all I was doing. I mean, literally, I literally wore an ingrown hair just touching the center of it. You know why? Because I'm not used to this. I haven't cut it off yet. You know, there's people that don't like this. Some people don't like it because it's different. They don't want to look at me. Some people don't like it because they probably think it makes me look older. Some people might not like it because it's the one thing that I didn't have that's looked at as a fireman. And that's childish, and that's probably not true. I hope it's not. I'm trying to make it funny. But imagine if another human being didn't want me to have a mustache or cared about me having a mustache when they don't have to worry about it itching them or getting dirty or hair falling out in my food. They didn't want it just because maybe it looks good in a picture. Maybe it looks like, you know, an old big city urban firefighter, which, you know, I'm not. But I definitely, you know, have always advocated and said that we should study urban city firefighters and the experiences and the fire activity. And as a whole, I just use that as an analogy, as an example, that sometimes people worry about stupid shit. They just do. And sometimes people, they lack so much, or they lack or are limited in their vision, that they're too worried about what somebody else's vision is instead of focusing on having their own vision, their own life, their own thing. And you know, I can tell you that even when you have a passion and a purpose and you have a vision and you want to do it and you want to push forward and you want to go there, there's going to be things working against you. There's going to be roadblocks. That's what makes it worth pushing forward. That's what makes it worth getting up in the morning. You know, I made a decision this morning that I knew last night that I was going to be tired, but I'd read this guy on Instagram that talked about, you know, getting up at 4 a.m., going to bed at 9 p.m., and that 7 hours is good enough. And, you know, whether 7 hours is good enough for you, 8, 9, whatever, I can tell you this, sleeping too much is depressing. Sleeping too much will make you tired. And I don't have to do any studying. Sleeping too much makes you tired because your brain's not active. You're not exercising it. You're not getting it done. You're not moving. It's like working out. It's like lifting weights. It's like walking. You got to be doing it. You got to be going. And that's what is critical. I got the boat here behind me. That's why the sunrise was beautiful. It's just real quick. It's not glowing anymore, but I was going to show you. But it's cold, so I had to get here with a boat. You got to go with it. You got to drive. You got to make it happen. And I thought about this yesterday morning when I had the trash truck. That's my 4th trash truck, and I've had some crazy stuff. You know, anybody's heard me. I had a prisoner in a suicide jail cell put his private part through a high security drain. You know, very extensive man-machine extrication. I've had a guy in a shrimp boat. Had somebody in an elevator shaft. I've had, you know, somebody in a hydraulic recycling truck. Somebody at the port in a car hauler when the ship brought in the trucks. And the list literally just goes on and on and on. You know, I've been plagued in my career with just the craziest special ops extrication calls. And people say, you're plagued. When I was younger, going to that stuff was great. And I want to go. Don't get me wrong. If it happens, I want to be on duty. I want to do it. But at the end of the day, it's still like, golly, man, like it's, you know, you're there, you do your job, you're an autopilot, but afterwards you like have this exhaustion dump. And I'm going to, in the future, when I got a whiteboard, I'm going to do a little bit of talking just about the trash truck incidents because it is more common. So let's don't talk about the trash truck incident and the rescue and the technical stuff. Let's just talk about we're the lucky ones. We're the lucky ones. And people, you know, on social media say, why was a guy in a dumpster? The news media interviewing me and, you know, off camera, why is he in the dumpster? When somebody's got to ask you why another human being's in a dumpster, they're living in a gaga world. They're not in reality. They just don't know. They don't do what you do. They don't do what we do. They don't do what cops do and paramedics do. And they're there because that's the only place they have to go. And if that's the only place they have to go, their mind does, not just their physical body goes there, their mind goes there. So do you want to be living in a dumpster? Do you want to be living in a trash can physically, mentally, psychologically? No. because it's not healthy. You're going to sleep more. You're going to be depressed. And then you can't focus on the future. You can't focus on pushing forward. You can't focus on changing the odds, moving the odds. And I'm going to tell you, I mean this, firefighters can have it all. You can have it all. You can be it all. But you got to stop allowing those limiting factors to hold you back. You know, firefighters can be the richest people in the world. And you know, whether not financially, but just, you know, and the value of the services that you provide and what you do. But it's got to start with your own mindset. And I've said it for a long time. Definitely our preparedness, physically, mentally, you know, psychologically, you know, from sleeping, drinking water. Almost every single firefighter in my career that felt ill on the fire ground, whether they got transported or they had to go to rehab, or came down to just plain hydration. That goes back to playing youth sports. So preparedness in life, preparedness to move forward, whether it's moving past being 40 and middle age and knowing your life's most likely half over, moving past 50, you know, moving in towards retirement. That's something you always got to be preparing for. Once again, focus on the future. Look for vision. Look through the windshield. Stop looking back. Only look at good photos. Only allow your mind to go back where it was before, when it's going to support why you're going, you know, where you want to go. And always keep an open mind. And I'm going to close out with this. I think it's ironic. I will tell you this. I think it's funny as shit when somebody is an elite individual in their occupation. They're a legend in their occupation. They've been very successful in their occupation. They've achieved very high marks in their career field. And they talk about, worry about, and allow other people to know that they're talking about you, somebody else. It's funny as shit, man. And I used to worry about it when I would hear that somebody said this about me, said that about me. They'll get on a podcast or a radio show or a round table, or they'll put it in an article. And I used to let it bother me. All they're doing is solidifying that I have arrived. And I've arrived in their mind. It doesn't matter about anybody else. In their mind, they're spending enough time worried about talking about me and my opinions and what I'm doing when I live, work, operate in a totally different environment than they do. Has nothing to do with their environment, whether it be work, whether it be at home. They don't live my life. They probably don't have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. They don't probably live in their parents' house in the same neighborhood that I've lived in my whole life. 4 houses side by side, one right down the street. They, you know, and I could just go on and on and on. The differences between me and whoever it is. It could be a bunch of different people. I used to let it bother me at my Escambia County when somebody would talk behind my back, and I let it bother me. And this is about giving you advice. So this is going to sound arrogant, but I finally said, they don't have what I got. They don't have my wife supporting me in the fire service. Their wife don't even like them working overtime, or don't like them going to a fire conference, or, you know, they got no use. They have disdain for the American Fire Service. They won't even come to a firefighter gathering. You know what? Pray for them. And I try not to get real religious on this, but, you know, for any of you that don't know that follow me, I do have a job as a follower to do let you know, and I don't have a problem with non-believers. I have, you know, very close friends, but I grew up in the church. When I say grew up in the church, church on Sunday, church on Wednesday night, church on Saturday. My parents had Bible studies. I borderline grew up Southern Baptist as a kid. You know, now I'm more of like a coastline CLC, if you type of thing. And I don't even go to church every Sunday. Every 3rd Sunday I'm on duty almost. Some Sundays I'm at a soccer tournament. Some Sundays I'm out of town. But I still pray every day. I pray for myself. I pray for other people. I pray for peace. And if you can't focus on the windshield and you're focused on the rearview mirror, you might need to start praying for peace for yourself. Peace that you focus on yourself. Focus on where you need to be, where you need to go. People are not going to always be happy for you. They're not always going to. It's sad. I've said it 1,000 times probably. When somebody keys a Lamborghini and they don't even know who owns the Lamborghini, that's pure ass jealousy. That's what that is. They can't have a Lamborghini. People can't be happy for other people. When somebody else writes a book and it's published, they're going to talk about how, they picked a bad publishing company. It's got a bad cover. They're not going to sell any books. Just be happy for them, right? Be happy. Support them. That's what you have to do. If you could start focusing on being happy for other people, you'd be a lot happier yourself. You get to go a lot more places. And I'll tell you, when you start showing people love, and it's real love, and you let go of hate and discontent, and you can truly be happy for other people, and you don't have to get on Facebook and tell everybody they're the greatest in the world and they're the best, and you don't have to go through and just, click and like stuff. All that is fake front politicking type stuff. I'm talking about when you genuinely in your heart and your soul, you hope great for somebody. You wish good things for them. It's naturally people are going to get jealous. But if you're happy for them, and then just focus on what you want to do. Full speed ahead. And I'm going to challenge you as we close out here in the next minute or two, is maybe on your phone, maybe on a calendar, maybe on a notepad, write down some of your old dreams. Write down some of your old thoughts, wishes, and what you want to do. And, a lot of people that, when I say a lot, and that could sound arrogant, but people talk to me and they ask me, what's the deal? What's the change? What's the doc videos about? What's the mustache about? Why are you not drinking? And, I'm going on whatever it is, over 70 days without drinking. It's not always easy, but the more days that go by, the harder it is to even think about having a beer. And I never said I quit. I just said I stopped. But see, when I said I stopped, I'm not like, a lot of people I know, they say, well, I'm not going to drink for 30 days. I'm not going to drink for 60 days. Why in the hell would I just stop for 30? Why would I pick a date, man? That's something that I don't have a date. It'd be like saying, well, I'm going to start working out, but I'm only going to work out for 30 days. We're only going to get 30 days of results. And you're really not going to get 30 days of results, because 30 days is when the results are going to start. So I don't have a date. What I do is I'm just going to see how long I can go, because it's a start of self-control for me. I love drinking IPAs. I love drinking cold beers. Does it bring me a little bit relaxation? Yeah. But I want to see if for the first time in over 30 years, I can find peace, relaxation, and the ability to just chill through my own self-chemical balance of sleeping right and going to bed at the right time and getting up at the right time. I can tell you, I was emotionally exhausted yesterday. I was physically exhausted, and I got home. I've been at work for 2 days, taught during the day, and I went upstairs and I took a nap for about 2 hours, and I got up, drank a little bit of caffeine, and then I hung out with the family, had a awesome lasagna dinner that Jessica made. And that was through good morning, Matt. What's up, brother? That was through self-control, man. I could have easily, drank a couple of beers, or I easily could have, gone to sleep. I definitely could have slept all night, but I knew that I needed to fight through it. So last night I went to bed at 9:30, and this morning I could have kept sleeping, but when the alarm went off at 5:30, I'm already at 8 hours sleep almost. So I'm going to get the day started. I'm going to get it going. I told you I was going to be here. That's accountability. That's, the ability to get up and get done what I need to get done for the day, because I can tell you, there ain't nobody really keeping score about what I'm doing as much as I'm keeping score for myself. This is my own fight. This is my own struggle. And I'll just share it to you. I've told this to a lot of people, personally, one-on-one. But what I'm doing right now, I'm going to close out with this. This mustache is because I never really had one. It's something different. I want to try something different, because I don't know when my last day on this earth is. There's a lot of other things I don't have time to share with you that I'm doing different. But the number one thing that I'm on a mission to do is be the person that I've never been. I want to be the person that maybe that 22, 24, 25-year-old firefighter that maybe loves the job more than I ever loved it. The one that wants to be into the job, thinks I am, and I'm not. Because, see, I know what I'm not. You know, I might not go around advertising. I might not go around telling it to people. But what I want to do is try to be the person they think I am. Because if I can be the person they think I am, I'm going to sure as hell be a lot better person. And that's just going to be through fight, battle. And it's going to be a mental battle more than anything. Not a physical battle, the psychological battle. Because your own insecurities. You know, it took me a long time, you know, decades, to overcome the insecurity of not having a degree. Hell, I used to not write articles because of that. And then I found out that I could write an article, and even an editor of a major magazine will look at it and say, well, damn, Curt, you did this. And sometimes I've had a few people, you know, Scott, JJ, a few people, I've given them my article. They helped it. They tweaked it. They didn't change the content. They just, you know, maybe a little run-on sentence here, a comma or whatever. And a few of them, I didn't have time to send it to them, or I waited till the last day. And I sent that, and they say, hell, this is better than a lot of the people that got a damn master's degree, right? So a lot of times you're better, you're smarter, you're more capable than you give yourself. The insecurities are a bitch. I sorry for using a 4-letter word. They are. They're insecure. You know, people are walking around feeling like people are looking at them. They're not looking at you. Hell, they might be looking at you wishing they were you. Maybe they're looking at you saying, well, shit, he's got it made. He's got this, he's got that. People more times than not, they don't have time to be looking at you, or they don't have the value of it. So, God bless you. I hope you have a great day. I want you to definitely today do something that you didn't think you could do. Do something uncomfortable. Text somebody that you love and tell them you love them. Call somebody you love, tell them you love them. Walk up and give a hug to somebody, you know. Let your feelings out. Let your emotions out. Yesterday I did a news interview, and I got very emotional when the news interview was over because I made myself vulnerable. How did I make myself vulnerable? I allowed myself mentally during the interview to start going down a road of a lot of calls that I've been to, places I've been, things I've done, things I've seen. I thought about the fact that she's interviewing me about a guy sleeping in a dumpster, and I got emotional because I know what I have, and I'm lucky. Yes, there's a lot of things I don't have, but I know what I do have, and I'm appreciative of it. And just before that dumpster fire, we'd had a fire in a pallet house. And I'm talking about a pallet house that you'd want to live in, a pallet house that's all they had, in a homeless camp built out of pallets. And I went to it just like I went to the trash truck, just like I go to a lot of calls, and just like I told the lady that interviewed me on the news, and she didn't put it on her little blurb. When I go on a call, I'm a robot. I focus like a robot. I think like a robot. I do my training. I do my job. But inside, sometimes I'm hurting, and nobody can see it on the outside. Those curtains, they camouflage it. They blind it. Nobody sees it. And I know that you do too sometimes. That's just care. That's love. That's compassion. We can't be doing it on calls. We can't be doing it, especially if you're an officer. You got to get the job done. You got to do it. You suck it up. But there is a time and a place to let that out, let that, go, because that's what makes you good at your job. That's what makes you care. That's what makes you wipe your feet when you're going into a house that, even maybe they let their dog go to the bathroom on it. But it's not about what they do or don't do. It's about how you live your life, how you look through the windshield. What's your vision? What's your focus? Where are you going? And having an open mind. And I'm going to definitely close out now because I keep saying this. But, for 31 of you getting up your morning, this is important to me. People before water is nothing but a marketing scheme. People before water is to get you people that are lazy, that won't take the time to look at the PowerPoint, sit in the class, read my article, and all you do is want to throw stones. Well, thank you for letting the rest of the people in the fire service know you care about what I'm doing. That's good. You're helping me market my content, my articles, my conferences. You're supporting me when you don't realize you're supporting me. And I'm supporting you. I'm supporting you through healthy debate. Because if you're not college educated, if you don't have a formal education, if you dropped out of high school, debate is one of the most powerful things you can do. You want to be an attorney, you want to be a lawyer, you got to do debate. I didn't have to go to college to know that. So let's start debating. If your house was on fire and your fucking family was in there and the first due rig had a bunch of fire they had to fight, would you want a second due rig coming straight to the goddamn fucking fire scene to get your kids? You fucking damn right you would. So stop regurgitating bullshit just because your daddy, your granddaddy, or somebody else told you got to catch a hydrant lay in. All you're doing is marketing bullshit because it sounds cool. It sounds fun. It ain't about the people. It's about you when you do that. See, I was taught to catch a hydrant. And I catch hydrants. Come to work with me. You'll know I get my guys' asses when they don't turn a hydrant fully on. They don't fully tap it. They don't use a four-way valve. I'm more about hydrants and getting the full amount of water out of it than you'll ever know I am. And I'm a geek. I'm a water nerd about it. A fire I had yesterday morning, 4 engines to get a water supply. One did a split leg, second came in, hooked into that, sent water down a 400-foot 3-inch at 150 PSI. Third due engine, wrapped it, what we call lay it and leave it, laid into them. That's the third engine. The fourth engine went to the plug, hooked a 3-inch up, sent their tank to the second due's tank, sent water to the first due tank, and that fourth due rig pumped the hydrant, which is about 500 feet of 3-inch, and we were flowing a master stream with an 1 3/4 tip on a pallet house that you don't want to live in. So be appreciative for what you have. Stop worrying about what somebody else has got. Stop worrying about what somebody else is doing, because you're going to be poor. You're going to continue to be poor. And I ain't talking about money. You're going to be poor mentally, psychologically. It's going to cause you physical problems because you can't worry about what you're doing. See, I don't let people bother me because I know that I care about people. I know I love the fire service. And my thing is about wanting people to succeed. I want people to do good. I don't think firefighters show up to want to suck on a fire ground, to not be good. And whether they know it or not, even when they think I'm frustrated with them, I'm not. I know they fight complacency. I know they fight apathy. And that's where I come in. I hopefully challenge them and motivate them to try to be better for a day or better for a week, to want to be good at what they do. Everybody wants to be good. Everybody wants to win the ball game. The other day, I opened up with 14 new recruits, and I asked them, how many of you want to be great at being a firefighter? How many of you want to be great at this job? How many of you think out of the 14 raised their hand? All 14. And I didn't lie to them. I looked at them, and I said, 2 of you are going to be good. Not great. 2 of you are going to be good. I don't know who it is. I don't know them. 2 out of 14 are going to be good. Not great. I don't know very many great firefighters. And the ones that I think are great, I'd never tell them they're great because I'm hoping they want to be even better. They want to be greater. So everybody wants to be rich. Rich with money, rich with life, rich in happiness. But they're limited by their own mind. So control your mind, focus on the positive, focus on the grind, because if you really want to live without regret, then you got to do the work. And you got to do it every day. You got to put in the sets. You got to put in the reps. You got to do like I did this morning, is you got to get out of bed when other people are counting on you. Because that's where success is going to come, is when you're fulfilling other people's needs. When you're there to push other people to be better than they are today, to make them get outside their comfort zone. They might be mad at you one day. They might not like you one week, but they're going to come back and one day they're going to thank you for making them better, for pushing them. And when they got mad at you, you didn't back off or you didn't cuddle them. You continue to push on, and they left your bus, and then one day they're like, shit, man, that's the bus I didn't get off on. Thank God it came to my bus stop today, and they got on that bus because they were lucky enough that the bus got off course and it came back in their bus route, and they got on. So I'm going to leave you with this 100%. I'm closing out in less than 60 seconds. if there was ever a bus you were riding in your life, if you ever were on the bus to the right place, and that bus was going where you wanted to go, but they kept the thermostat a little too cold and you were uncomfortable and you had to get off because you wanted to warm up, or it was a little too hot and you couldn't take the heat and you had to get off because you wanted to go in and use the bathroom or go somewhere where it was cool, and the bus left you. Well, the bus is coming today. The bus is stopping at your bus stop. But you got to make the decision to get on the bus. It's got to be you, nobody else. So I challenge you, whether it's doing something like the Tank Challenge and doing a 3-mile walk, not a run, a 3-mile walk a week with other brothers and sisters around the fire service, whether it's figuring out how to go to bed, get 7-8 hours sleep, and get up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Maybe it's forgiving somebody you've been mad at. Maybe it's picking up that book you bought and you never finished it and reading it. Maybe it's in private, just picking up the Bible and reading the book of John. Because you don't have to know much about the Bible. You don't have to be a Christian. But that's like the easy part. So start easy. Start easy. Start with the book of John. Start with a walk. Start with getting up 30 minutes earlier. Don't jump off and try to go to the gym. Don't jump off and try to make it January 1st. January 1st is the hardest day in the year to start something. January 1st is the hardest day of the year to start something. More likely going to fail if you start on January 1st. But you start on a Thursday at the end of May when we're halfway through the year, I pray for you that when you get on that bus, you won't get off and it'll take you to your destination where you want to be. God bless you. I love you. Have a great day. Thanks for getting me out of bed today because I needed it. And guess what? It takes willpower not to push that thing, pop it, and get rid of it. Have self-control. See you next time.